All right, let's dive deep into the essence of your subconscious, that silent architect of your reality. Imagine this, your subconscious mind is like the soil, and every thought, every belief you plant in it is a seed. It doesn't discriminate between the seeds, it simply nurtures whatever you plant. If you plant seeds of fear, limitation, doubt, that's what will bloom. But if you plant seeds of possibility, of vision, of love, then that's the harvest you'll gather. Think about that. What if tonight you start planting the seeds for a life you truly desire? Not the life you've been told you should want, not the life that others have expected from you, but the one that calls to the deepest part of you. Because here's the truth, your subconscious doesn't just impact your thoughts. It shapes the way you feel about yourself, the way you interact with the world, the opportunities you see or miss. So why not give it the keys to a life that lights you up? Consider this, we're born with a mind that's completely open, completely receptive. A child doesn't doubt their worth or question if they're enough. No, that little one just is. They laugh freely, they cry without shame, they explore without fear. But somewhere along the way, we start to learn limits. Someone tells us, no, you can't do that, or that's not for people like you, and bit by bit, these beliefs sink down into our subconscious and start programming our reality. And guess what? Those beliefs are like invisible scripts running in the background, guiding your every step, coloring your every thought. There's a profound idea that comes up here, and it's that your subconscious mind is designed to protect you, to keep you safe. It's like a loyal friend that's been trying its best, doing exactly what you asked of it all along, keeping you within those familiar boundaries. But here's where it gets interesting. Your subconscious doesn't actually know what's best for you, it only knows what's familiar. Let me say that again, it only knows what's familiar. If you've spent your whole life thinking, I'm not good enough, then your subconscious keeps creating that reality because to it, that's safe. But what if you start telling it a new story? Right now, as you listen, imagine yourself at a crossroads. On one side is the familiar path, the one where your subconscious is driving with all the beliefs that have kept you small, safe, and comfortable. But on the other side, that's the path of expansion. That's the path where you start saying, I am worthy, I am capable, I am capable, I am limitless. And every time you affirm that, you're feeding those seeds of possibility. You're opening up your subconscious to something new. Here's a little exercise to try. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize something you deeply desire, really see it, feel it, hear it. Now imagine that this is already part of your life. See, the subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you focus on what you desire with enough clarity and emotion, you're actually reprogramming your subconscious to accept it as your reality. And let's be honest here, there's a little resistance. I know it, you know it. There's that little voice saying, who am I to want this? Who am I to want to be great? But every single person who's achieved greatness, who's walked a path of purpose, has faced that same voice. And they chose consciously to move past it. Imagine yourself right now releasing every limiting belief you've ever held. Take a deep breath and let it go. This is more than a mental exercise. This is you taking the keys to your reality. Why should anyone else hold those keys? Why should the past or fear or doubt decide your future? Picture this, your subconscious is like a garden, and every day you're either letting it run wild with weeds of doubt and fear, or you're consciously planting seeds of growth, of joy, of purpose. You can decide right here, right now, that the life you dream of isn't just possible, it's waiting for you. It's a choice. But like any choice, it has to be repeated, nurtured, and held. Because the moment you decide to take those keys, the moment you say, I'm ready to rewrite my story, everything begins to shift. It's not always easy. There will be days when you feel that old story calling you back, tempting you to slip into the familiar. But every time you choose to step into the new, you're building a foundation, a reality shaped by your truest desires. So So take a moment tonight, breathe into that vision, that dream you hold deep inside. Don't just visit it, move in, unpack, make it your home. And watch as your subconscious starts aligning, starts guiding you in ways that almost feel like magic. Because once you decide, once you truly commit to reprogramming your subconscious, life opens up in ways you can't even imagine. Remember this, you are the artist, the author, the creator of your reality. The only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the belief that you don't deserve it. And if you let that belief go, if you replace it with the truth that you are worthy, powerful, and capable, there's nothing you can't create. You've had the keys all along. It's time to use them. What if I told you that the beliefs that limit you aren't even your own? That many of the thoughts you carry, those fears, doubts, and insecurities were simply inherited along the way. Think about that for a moment. What if the story you've been living, the one that says I'm not good enough, or it's too late for me, or I'm just not capable, was never yours to begin with? Let's pause here, take a deep breath and let that sink in. Imagine what it would feel like to let go of these beliefs that don't even belong to you. Imagine stepping into a space where the thoughts that define your worth aren't clouded by what you've been taught, but come from the truth of who you really are. You see, we're born with a pure, open mind like a clean slate, unmarked by the world's judgments, labels, and limitations. But somewhere along the way, we begin to absorb the beliefs around us. Our family tells us who we should be, society dictates what success looks like, and our friends and peers shape the way we view ourselves. We internalize these messages, and before long, they become a part of our subconscious programming. But here's the real kicker: these beliefs were not created by us. They were handed down, shaped by others, and implanted in us. And what happens when we carry these beliefs that aren't even ours? We live in a world that isn't truly ours to begin with. We live with a lens that distorts our view, blurs our vision, and holds us back from reaching our full potential. Every time we say, I can't, or I'm not good enough, we're simply echoing a story that doesn't belong to us. But here's the good news: you have the power to reprogram that story. You have the ability to let go of the beliefs that no longer serve you and create a new narrative, one that is shaped by your truest, most authentic self. Now, I want you to do something with me. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a belief that's been limiting you. Maybe it's something like I'm too old, or I'll never be successful, or I don't deserve love. See it clearly. Now, I want you to take that belief and hold it in your hands like an object. Hold it up, examine it. What do you see? Where did it come from? Was it something you consciously chose, or was it something that was planted in you, perhaps by someone you trust or by society's expectations? Now, here's the big question: do you still want to carry this belief? Do you still want to believe that this is the truth about who you are? Or are you ready to let it go? Take a moment to feel the weight of it, and then with a deep breath, gently set it down. You don't need it anymore. In fact, you never did. The truth is, these beliefs are not who you are. They are simply patterns that have been passed down through generations, through culture, and through your environment. But you are not the sum of those beliefs. You are not bound by what others have told you is possible. You are not defined by the limitations others have imposed on you. Let that realization wash over you for a moment. You are not your beliefs. What if, instead of holding on to the old beliefs that have kept you stuck, you made space for the truth of who you are to emerge? What if you let go of the old patterns, the old stories, and allowed yourself to become the person you were always meant to be? What if you could open the door to your mind, invite in new thoughts, and watch as your life transforms in ways you've only dreamed of? See, the key here is awareness. It's recognizing that many of the thoughts you've been holding on to are not even yours. These beliefs are the result of years of conditioning from well-meaning family members, friends, society, and even the media. And while these beliefs may have served you in some way in the past, they no longer align with who you are becoming. And that's where the magic happens, when you realize that you are the creator of your own thoughts. You are the author of your own story. The moment you wake up to this truth, everything begins to change. Let me share a little story with you. I've worked with countless people throughout my life, people who were convinced that they couldn't change, that they were trapped in their circumstances, and that their limitations were set in stone. But what I've seen over and over again is that when someone becomes aware of their beliefs and begins to question them, that's when the shift happens. They suddenly see that the chains that were once holding them back were made of nothing more than old beliefs. They weren't real. And here's the most powerful part. Once you start to question these limiting beliefs, you open the door to transformation. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You start believing in your own potential, your own worth, your own power. You stop waiting for permission to live the life you've always dreamed of, and you step into that life right now. So how do you start reprogramming your subconscious mind? How do you begin releasing these old patterns that are not even yours? It starts with awareness, recognizing that your thoughts and beliefs are not always your own. When you start to notice the thoughts that repeat in your mind, ask yourself, is this thought truly mine? Or was it handed down to me by someone else? When you can separate your true desires from the beliefs that have been conditioned into you, you open yourself to a whole new world of possibilities. Next, it's about replacing those old beliefs with new, empowering ones. Affirmations are a powerful tool for this. Repeating positive affirmations daily helps to create new neural pathways in your brain, pathways that support your highest potential. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, start saying, I am worthy of all the success, love, and happiness the universe has to offer. But it's not just about words, it's about feeling those words, believing them with every fiber of your being. When you say, I am worthy, feel the power of that statement deep within you. Don't just say it, embody it. Feel it as your truth. As you begin to release the old beliefs and replace them with new ones, you'll start to see shifts in your life. The world around you will begin to reflect the new story you're telling yourself. Opportunities will show up where there once were obstacles. You'll find yourself acting with more confidence, more clarity, and more purpose. But there's something else I want you to consider. What if the beliefs that limit you don't just come from family or society, but from your own past? What if, in a moment of doubt or fear, you made a decision about who you are that's been running in the background of your mind ever since? This is where the real magic happens, when you realize that you can release those beliefs. When you realize that the past doesn't have to define you, that the mistakes you made or the failures you experienced don't have to carry the weight of your future. You are not your past. Your past is simply a collection of experiences that have brought you to this moment. And in this moment, you have the power to create a new reality. So I ask you again, what if the beliefs that limit you aren't even your own? What if you can release them, step into the truth of who you are, and become the person you were always meant to be? Let that sink in, and as it does, take a moment to appreciate the power you have within you. You are not defined by your beliefs. You are not defined by the stories you've been told. You are the creator of your reality. And right now, in this very moment, you have the ability to reprogram your subconscious mind and create a life that reflects the true essence of who you are. So let's begin this journey together, step by step. Thought by thought, release the old patterns and welcome the new. Because you are worthy of all the greatness, love, and success that life has to offer. It's time to reclaim your power. All right, imagine this right now. Wherever you are, however you're feeling, there's a whole world within you, a world that's entirely shaped by your thoughts. And I'm here to tell you something that may seem almost too simple, but it's powerful beyond measure. Change your thoughts, change your life. Yes, it's that profound. See, when we talk about reprogramming the mind, we're not talking about fixing some broken part of you. This isn't about changing who you are at your core. No, it's about aligning with the truth of who you really are, your highest potential, that boundless self you carry within. Night by night, thought by thought, you're shaping the reality that surrounds you like a painter with a blank canvas. What do you want to create? Think about it, your thoughts are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Every single thought, whether it's one of possibility or one of limitation, sinks down into that soil. And over time, those thoughts take root, they sprout, they become the reality you experience. So if you want to see a change in your outer world, you don't start by rearranging the world around you. You start by changing the world within you. Now, I know that sounds lofty, almost mystical, but let's break it down. Every single day, you're living within the limits of your thoughts. Imagine waking up in the morning with a fresh perspective, choosing to let go of the thoughts that keep you in a cycle of doubt, fear, and lack. Instead, what if you planted new thoughts? Thoughts like I am worthy, I am capable, I am free. These aren't just feel-good affirmations. These are the new seeds that, when nourished, grow into a life aligned with the highest potential you can imagine. But here's the thing about reprogramming, it's a process, not a quick fix. Just like planting a garden, you can't expect immediate blooms. It's about making small, intentional shifts. It's about catching yourself in those moments when an old thought may be one that says, I'm not good enough. Or this is just how I am comes up. Because those are the moments where true transformation begins. In those moments, you have the power to say, no, I choose a different thought. Consider this each night as you fall asleep. You're at a powerful doorway. Your mind is moving from the conscious to the subconscious, and this is the perfect time to plant new seeds. Instead of drifting off while replaying worries, regrets, or fears, imagine if you filled your mind with thoughts of gratitude, of possibility. Visualize the life you want as if it's already happening. Feel it. That's how you start shifting your subconscious mind, by feeding it the images, the emotions, the beliefs that align with your truest desires. Think of it this way, your mind is like a field, and every thought you have is like a seed that you plant in that field. So if you're constantly thinking about your limitations, your fears, your worries, that's the crop you're going to harvest. But if you start planting seeds of faith, seeds of possibility, seeds of I can, those are the crops that will grow in your field. You don't have to take my word for it, just try it, even for a week. Notice how choosing better thoughts changes how you feel, how you respond, and ultimately what you create. Let's do a little exercise together. Imagine standing in front of yourself as you were just yesterday. Look deeply into the eyes of that person you were and say, thank you for everything. Thank you for carrying those old beliefs, for keeping me safe. Then, with all the love in your heart, let that version of yourself go. Watch them walk away, and as they do, allow a new version of you to step forward. One that's not bound by yesterday's thoughts or beliefs. Feel the energy of this new self, this self that believes in possibility, that embraces change, that's ready for growth. Welcome them. And here's a powerful secret: the more you welcome that new self, the more you believe in the possibility of your own growth, the faster your reality will begin to change. You'll find that life isn't something that happens to you, it's something that's created by you from the inside out. So every time you think a new thought, every time you choose a new belief, you're building the life you want. Sometimes people ask, isn't this just wishful thinking? But I'll tell you, it's only wishful thinking if you let it stay in the realm of wishes. When you embody a thought, when you make it your belief, it's no longer just a wish. It's a blueprint for your reality, because your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So why not use that to your advantage? Why not give it images of joy, of success, of peace? Why not show it the life you want again and again until it has no choice but to accept it as your reality? I want you to think of your subconscious mind as a treasure chest. It holds all the wisdom, all the intuition, all the creativity you'll ever need to live a fulfilled life. But that treasure is buried under years, maybe decades of habitual thoughts that may no longer serve you. So when you change your thoughts, you're digging up that treasure, you're revealing your highest self. So here's a small practice for you to try. Tonight, before you go to sleep, take a few moments to focus on one thought, just one thought that you'd like to see blossom in your life. Maybe it's, I am worthy, or I am whole, or I trust the journey. Let that thought fill your mind as you drift off to sleep. And as you do, imagine your subconscious absorbing that thought like a sponge, allowing it to take root. Do this night after night, and watch how that simple thought begins to transform the way you see yourself, the way you act, the way you live. Now I want you to take a breath. Feel the potential in this moment. Feel the truth of what we're talking about. You have the power to create your reality, not by fighting the world outside of you, but by changing the world within. So if there's a part of you that doubts, that resists, just let it go, because every single one of us was born with this power, this ability to shape our lives. Let's think about it this way. Imagine your mind is fertile, open, rich soil, just waiting, always listening, always ready to receive whatever seeds you plant in it. Every single thought, belief, and feeling you nurture, these are seeds. And once they're planted, the soil doesn't question them. It doesn't discriminate between positive and negative, between love and fear. It just nurtures whatever's been planted, bringing those seeds into full bloom. Now picture this: if your thoughts are seeds and your mind is the soil, what are you planting there every day? Are you planting seeds of abundance, joy, self-love, purpose, or are you, maybe without even realizing it, scattering seeds of fear, doubt, and limitation? Because the truth is, every thought we think is a blueprint, and your subconscious mind, the soil, is constantly looking for ways to bring those blueprints to life. And here's the beautiful part: you have the power at any moment to plant something new. So let's dive deeper into what it really means to choose those seeds consciously and create a mind that's filled with the richness of purpose and the abundance of your true potential. Let's get specific here. Think about the messages you tell yourself on a daily basis. If you're telling yourself, I'm not enough, I can't do this, life is hard, those are seeds too. And once those seeds are planted, they grow roots, they dig deep, and pretty soon they're shaping the way you see yourself, the way you experience life, the opportunities you either see or miss. Now imagine if instead every day you're planting seeds that say, I am worthy, I am here with purpose, I have all I need within me. Those seeds begin to grow too. Take a moment and think about the kinds of seeds you'd want to plant if you knew they would blossom in every area of your life. See, this isn't just an idea, it's a practice. Because once you understand the power of planting these thoughts, these beliefs of abundance and self-love, you can start reshaping your entire reality. Think of it this way: every day we're casting our attention like seeds into the soil of our subconscious. And here's where it gets really interesting: the subconscious isn't passive. It's a brilliant creative partner, always working to make your inner landscape match your outer reality. In other words, your subconscious mind wants to create the world you tell it you're ready for. The question is, what are you telling it? Are you feeding it thoughts of joy, self-worth, purpose? Are you feeding it the image of a life that aligns with your deepest desires? Here's a small exercise. For just a moment, close your eyes and bring to mind a version of yourself living with complete abundance. Really see it. What does that feel like? Picture the joy, the peace, the gratitude of living that life. Hold on to that image and let it settle into your mind like a seed in the soil. You're not just imagining something far off, you're telling your subconscious, this is my reality. This is where I'm heading. And as you keep nurturing that vision, your subconscious begins aligning everything in your life to make it real. Now, let me share a powerful truth with you. Your subconscious can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. The images, the thoughts, the emotions you pour into it, all it knows is that you're serious about bringing them to life. When you feed it the thought of abundance, of love, of purpose, it doesn't question, it goes to work on making that your experience. Consider this: every experience you've had, every belief you hold, it's all there in the subconscious and it's shaping your world. Now, most people let their lives be shaped by old, outdated beliefs, by seeds that were planted in childhood or by well-meaning people who didn't know any better. But I want you to consider something radical. You have the power to uproot any belief, any seed that doesn't serve you. You don't have to live in a garden of weeds. You can clear it all out and plant a new reality, one that aligns with the life you want, the love you want, the abundance you deserve. Now, you might be wondering, how do I do this? And it starts simply by choosing thoughts that feel like love, like possibility, like purpose. Because every thought has a frequency. When you hold a thought of abundance, of joy, you're aligning with the frequency of those experiences. And that's exactly what the subconscious responds to. Feed it thoughts of lack, and it will look for ways to create lack. Feed it thoughts of possibility, and it will search for opportunities in every corner of your life. So right now, I want you to imagine this: you're planting seeds in your subconscious that will grow into the life you truly want. Imagine them sprouting, becoming tall, beautiful, powerful reflections of the reality you're creating. And each day you water these seeds with your attention, your focus, your belief. You're not passively waiting for something to change. You're actively creating the life you desire, one thought, one feeling at a time. Take a deep breath and think of this moment as the beginning of a new way of seeing, a new way of being. The thoughts you choose to feed your subconscious aren't just passing ideas, they're instructions. They're the blueprints your subconscious uses to shape your reality. So why not fill it with thoughts of abundance, of self-love, of purpose? Why not give it the seeds that reflect the highest version of who you are? Think about that, a life where every day you're planting the seeds of possibility. You're waking up and choosing thoughts that align with your highest self, thoughts that nurture your dreams, thoughts that resonate with the truth of your limitless potential. And here's the truth that might surprise you. You don't have to know how every single detail will work out. You don't need a step-by-step plan. You only need to plant the seeds, to tend to them with love, and trust that the subconscious will bring them to life in ways you can't even imagine. Because the subconscious is always listening, it's always waiting. And when you feed it thoughts of abundance, of love, of purpose, it responds with a life that's rich in every way. Every day, remember this: you are the gardener of your own mind. You are the one who decides what gets planted and what's allowed to grow. And you have within you everything you need to create a life of true, deep, abiding joy. The question is, what will you plant today? All right, let's jump right in and get to the heart of this question. Who would you be without the beliefs that hold you back? Think about it. Every one of us carries around these deep-rooted beliefs. They're like old software running in the background, scripts that have been there for so long we don't even question them anymore. And yet, they dictate so much of what we think, how we feel, and what we're willing to reach for. We accept them as truth, even if they were handed to us by someone else, even if they don't serve us anymore. So let's ask ourselves, what would it mean to let go of those beliefs? Who could you be if you were free from all of that? Picture this: from the time we're young, we're like sponges absorbing everything around us. Our family, our friends, society, they're all feeding us ideas, opinions, and expectations about who we are and who we're supposed to be. Maybe you were told you're too sensitive or not good with numbers, or maybe you learned that success is only for a certain type of person and that dreams are unrealistic, so we end up carrying these labels as if they're a part of us. But here's the secret: they're not. Imagine if you could just peel back those layers one by one. What would you find underneath? That's what reprogramming the subconscious is all about. It's a way to peel back those old dusty beliefs and reveal the boundless self that's been waiting underneath, the self that's meant to be. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Our subconscious mind isn't out to get us, it's here to keep us safe, or at least what it thinks is safe. If you've been carrying around a belief that says, I'm not good enough, your subconscious takes that in, no questions asked. And it'll work overtime to make sure you never stray too far from that belief. It's a loyal soldier, but it's loyal to whatever programming it's received. And if that programming is out of alignment with who you truly are, then guess what? Your subconscious becomes the gatekeeper holding you back from the life you're meant to live. But it doesn't have to stay that way. In fact, the moment you start questioning those beliefs, you're already beginning to change them. Think about that. Just by asking, who would I be without this belief? You're loosening its grip. You're giving yourself the space to see that maybe, just maybe, that belief isn't as permanent as it feels. Imagine your subconscious as a garden, and your beliefs are the seeds planted there. If you spent years sowing seeds of doubt, of fear, of limitation, then naturally, that's what's going to bloom. But what if you started planting something different? What if you started planting seeds of possibility, of worthiness, of love? And here's the key, you have to water those new seeds. You have to tend to them, nurture them, and give them the light they need to grow. So tonight, let's do something radical. Let's begin to rewrite the story we've been telling ourselves. Take a deep breath and feel the weight of those old beliefs. Feel the grip they have on you, and then start to loosen it. Imagine yourself setting down a heavy backpack filled with all the beliefs that have held you back. Just set it down and see how light you feel. Because here's the truth, those beliefs are only as real as you make them. And I know some of those beliefs feel unshakable. They've been with you for so long, it's hard to imagine life without them. But consider this, every belief you hold is a choice. Take a deep breath and just feel into that. Let go of the need to figure it all out and simply feel what it's like to be without those limiting beliefs. This is the essence of reprogramming your subconscious. It's not about adding more, it's about letting go. Imagine how different your life would be if you were no longer defined by those old stories. Imagine the freedom, the lightness, the possibility. See, when you let go of the beliefs that hold you back, you open yourself up to the vastness of who you truly are. You're no longer boxed in by someone else's idea of what you can or can't do. You're free to create, to explore, to become. And remember, this change doesn't happen overnight. You've spent years building these beliefs, so be gentle with yourself. Every time you notice a limiting thought, a belief that says, I can't, or I'm not enough, just observe it. Don't judge it, don't resist it, just observe it. And then ask yourself, is this belief helping me become who I'm meant to be? Because if it's not, you can let it go. You can replace it with something new. So who would you be without the beliefs that hold you back? This question isn't just a thought experiment, it's an invitation. An invitation to step into a life where you're not confined by doubt or fear. An invitation to live from a place of purpose, clarity, and freedom. And that life, it's waiting for you to claim it. You are the creator of your reality. The beliefs you choose to hold, the thoughts you choose to think, these are the brushstrokes painting the canvas of your life. So as you go forward, I invite you to choose beliefs that lift you up, that expand you, that open you up to the fullness of who you are. Because at the end of the day, you are as limitless as you allow yourself to be. And the only thing standing between you and that vastness is the belief that you're somehow small. But you're not. You're boundless, radiant, and more powerful than you've ever been led to believe. Imagine this, there's a whole world inside of you, vast and hidden like an iceberg floating in the sea. The part you see, the tip, is just a fraction of what's truly there. Below the surface, beneath the waters of your conscious awareness, lies the real power. It's that vast, unseen part of the mind, the subconscious, where everything you've ever experienced, everything you've ever believed, has been stored. Now, some of those beliefs serve you. Some of them are what guide you, protect you, and lead you toward your goals. But many, without us even realizing it, are holding us back. It's time to release what no longer serves you, even if you didn't know it was there. Think of it this way: have you ever felt weighed down by something you couldn't quite name? Like you're carrying around this invisible burden, but you don't know where it came from or even what it is? That's the iceberg effect. And it's not until you dive deep, until you're willing to explore those unseen parts of yourself, that you begin to understand the sheer power you hold and the limitations you've unknowingly placed on yourself. Here's the thing: every time you experience something, especially those moments that shake you or leave a strong impression, they sink down into your subconscious, settling in like stones at the bottom of the ocean. And over time, they pile up. Some are beautiful stones, polished by love and encouragement, the times you felt safe and valued. But others are heavy, jagged rocks. These are the beliefs that tell you, I'm not enough, I'm not capable, it's too late for me. And the subconscious doesn't judge, it doesn't filter. It just takes it all in, storing these beliefs until they shape who you are, often without you ever realizing it. Let me ask you this: if you could release just one of those heavy stones, one limiting belief you didn't even know was there, how much lighter would you feel? How much more room would you create within yourself for something new, something powerful, something that aligns with the life you truly want? Take a deep breath and really feel that. Imagine that weight, all those beliefs sitting in your subconscious, guiding your actions, your thoughts, your choices, and ask yourself, is this really me? Is this who I choose to be? See, so much of our identity is wrapped up in these old programs, in beliefs we didn't choose. They were handed to us by well-meaning family, by society, by our younger selves who simply didn't know any better. But today, right now, you're in a position to choose differently. You're here because you're ready to let go of what no longer serves you. Here's a powerful image. Imagine that your subconscious mind is like a vast room, and every corner, every drawer is filled with old files. And some of these files are essential. They hold the truths about who you are, your highest potential, your deepest wisdom. But then there are those other files gathering dust, ones you haven't looked at in years, but that continue to take up space. These files are your old stories, the ones that tell you this is all there is, or this is all I deserve in those beliefs. They're outdated, they've served their purpose, but they no longer belong in this new room you're creating. So what do? We begin by examining these files, these hidden beliefs. And as you do this work, as you start to explore, don't be surprised if you feel a little resistance, a little discomfort. That's just your subconscious trying to hold on to what's familiar, what it's known for so long. But remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Growth happens when we're willing to see what lies beneath and to let go. Here's an exercise to try, something simple yet profound. Picture yourself standing by a river. And beside you, there's a bag filled with those heavy stones, those old beliefs, each one etched with words you've carried for too long. Now, one by one, take each stone in your hand, feel its weight, acknowledge its presence, and then let it go. Toss it into the river, watch it sink, and feel that lightness spreading within you. Each stone you release creates more space within you. It opens up room for beliefs that do serve you, that uplift you, that bring you closer to who you truly are. And that's the beauty of this journey. The more you let go, the more you discover who you really are. You see, you're not your doubts, your fears, or your limitations. You're not defined by what other people have told you, or even by the beliefs you formed years ago. You're the one who has the power to choose, to release, to transform. Letting go is like cleaning out a closet that's been cluttered for years. At first it feels overwhelming, even a little chaotic, but as you start pulling things out, as you see what's there, you realize, wow, I've been carrying this around all this time and I didn't even know it. And bit by bit, you let it go until what remains is clear, open space, a canvas ready for something new. So tonight, as you settle into yourself, ask, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? What belief, what story am I ready to release? And as you do, as you allow yourself to release, remember that you're not losing anything. You're simply making room for more. More joy, more peace, more of the life that's waiting for you. The mind is like an iceberg, yes, but you're the one who gets to decide what stays and what goes. And as you dive beneath the surface, as you explore those hidden parts, know that every belief you release, every story you rewrite, is a step toward the life that's been waiting for you just below the surface.